Hey guys, we're going to recap this last tournament that we actually didn't fish. So first of all, though, we want to thank some of our sponsors, that make this possible along the way. I want to start out with Icon Coolers and Unsinkable Polarized, and then also Bayou Classic, Maritime Insurance International, and Fathom Inshore.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Reef. I want to give a shout out to Eastern Metalworks, High Tide Canvas and Upholstery, and AFTCO.
Yeah, so basically this last tournament was down in Georgetown, South Carolina, a place that I fished for like the past 5 or 6 years. Awesome fishery. Jordan started coming down last year and doing some pre-fishing, and we like the place. It's awesome fishery, a lot better than right here in Wilmington, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love it down there. There's just so much water. We've got like, I don't know, 5 to 7 rivers that all dump out in a 5 inlets, just tons of unexplored water with no houses in sight, and lots of flat, shallow water, which we like to fish in. Yeah. As long as we can prevent ourselves from getting stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, just a really fun place to fish.
Yeah, so this really cool area, lots of fish. So we're down there. We went down Wednesday, and we stayed with our buddies Jason and Alan, who always do well in these tournaments. So we figured if we stay with them, some of that might rub off on us. But what we didn't know is they also break things a lot at tournaments, and that actually is what rubbed off on us, not the winning tournaments.
Yep.
So talk about the first couple days of pre-fishing, Jordan.
Yeah, we got down there Wednesday morning real early and just went exploring some new spots, some old spots, just checking what the tide was going to be like. Because that's going into it, we got to come up with our plan based on the tide.
Right. And
so, we're going to show up, and if we do find fish, we generally are not going to beat them up. We're just going to see if they're there at a certain tide and if we can get to them. And so we started off, I think it was a pretty low tide. So we were fishing off the banks, using a popping cork and top water off the bank a good bit, trying to find fish. Yeah. Higher tides, we're going to be, charging into places we can't usually get to at a low tide, trying to find fish are going to be up in the grass, in the backs of the creeks, just giving you access to places you can't usually get to. And so we use that opportunity at high tide.
Yeah, so basically we're scouting all of our spots, any spot that we've had before, and maybe a couple spots that we haven't fished before. We're just basically pre-fishing Wednesday through Friday is trying to find fish. So we're finding new fish, and we're locating fish that we've caught before, that we've seen before.
And something that's really important is we're eliminating water that might have some fish in it, but they might not be the right size fish. Right. Or it just doesn't have any fish. And so by doing that, a lot of times we're just putting the trolling motor in the water, and we're both standing on top of the bow casting platform, and we're just trying to find water that's clear enough that we can see. Right. And we're working down grass banks and oyster beds. We like banks that have a lot of undulation and oyster beds on them, places for the fish to hang out. And so we're just looking for interesting water where we can say to ourselves, hey, there's fish there, let's come back and fish that. Yeah. Or those fish are too big, let's stay away from this spot.
Or not. Yeah, a lot of times, especially down there in South Carolina, because the slot is 15 to 23 inches, as opposed to here in North Carolina where it's 18 to 27. So a lot of times down in South Carolina, you're finding overs, whether it be a 23.5 or 28-inch fish. Yeah. And it might hold a school of all 25 to 26, 27, 28-inch fish, but that doesn't do you any good. So you just kind of have to erase that out of your memory and move on. So we're just trolling motor on 10, burning banks with trolling motor, trying to push up fish.
Yeah. So I think day one, I believe we had really good weather and pretty light wind out of the southwest. We had a good tide where we could go push into some places because we had a good amount of water. Once that tide came in, around midday, I think we got on some fish and a new spot, and we were happy with that. And then we kind of pushed on, and we did find a bunch of bull reds and sharks closer to some of the inlets. Yeah. And definitely something that would be fun to come back and fish. Not really the sharks, but the bull reds in shallow water. and then we pushed on, and I don't know, I think day 2 we found some really cool spots, but primarily saw a lot of tarpon. So that was exciting, but just not our focus.
Yeah.
Also, another thing to come back for, you know, if we ever want to go tarpon fishing, it looks like this time of year down there, you can find them, some big ones up in some shallow creeks, and so that was kind of cool. But I don't know what, I guess the tide dropped out really hard on that day 2.
Yeah, the tide was a little screwy that whole week, really. Yeah. And my wife was telling me something about the planet Mercury was doing something funky that week. I wonder if that had to do with gravitational pull in the tide or something.
The tide charts didn't seem accurate, but the high tides didn't seem very high.
The low tides were very low.
The low tides were very low.
And long.
It just didn't seem accurate, but, you know.
Yeah, it was just the weather had it all kind of jacked up. But, yeah, we ended up, so synopsis of pre-fishing was we found, like, I was confident because I have a spot that I found a while back. I'd never even fished it in a tournament, so the fish aren't that pressured at all. Yeah. We hadn't messed with them even in these 3 days of fishing. We know they're there, so we've got a plan. We've got that spot, and we've got like 2 more spots that we feel like good about, and then we have a couple other spots just in our back pocket as plan, you know, D, E, and F. Yeah. But you know, I feel like going Friday night, me and Jordan are feeling good.
Yeah, we felt like we could have brought in 6 to 8 pound sack of fish for sure.
Easily, yeah.
If the right fish bit at our spot, we had the tide, we had the plan, and we were excited about it. So our bunkmates Jason and Alan with their team, they were coming off a win in Moorhead. They booked Airbnb, and we decided to crash with them, and we brought our Bayou Classic griddle. And that was fun because we like to cook. We love the Bayou Classic griddle.
So portable and fun to cook on.
Yeah, it's just this big long griddle. You plug it into propane. We cook steaks, tacos. You can cook breakfast on it, but we're never home for breakfast.
Nah.
Anyway, so we, as a treat for those guys getting us the place, Luke did rib eyes on the griddle the first night with butter and rosemary and
garlic.
Lots
of garlic.
Oh my gosh, that was really good. We had some potatoes and corn too.
Yeah.
So that first meal was awesome, and then
then the next night we had to do the Full Rudder signature taco, which is the shrimp and chorizo.
Oh yeah.
So we cooked that up, and it's always a good time. I mean, if you're down there fishing these tournaments and you know some guys, you know, get together, cook some dinner together, go out to dinner together, that's like half the fun.
Yeah, just the camaraderie is always one of the most fun parts of the tournaments.
Definitely.
So the captain's meeting was Friday night at the boat ramp there. What is that boat ramp called?
It's the Carol Campbell Ashmore Complex, I think.
Yeah, it's a beautiful boat ramp.
Huge.
Right in downtown on the Sandpit River, so you've got access out Winya Bay and up the Waccamaw River, Petey River, Sandpit. So we get to the facility. They've got the signature chicken bog cooking in the big gumbo pot.
Yeah. If you don't know what a chicken bog is, you should Google it.
Yeah, it's like South Carolina's signature dish.
It's really good.
Yeah. It's kind of like jambalaya with chicken.
Yeah.
So yeah, the number you pick determines where you take off in the morning, and we've got about 70 boats registered at this event. So you pull your number out of a can. We go back and forth, taking turns pulling numbers. And
not that it matters because we both suck at it.
Yeah. So Luke pulled a 47.
Wait, that was you, right?
Oh, I pulled.
You pulled the 47, not me. I pulled the last bad number.
All right. Well, I pulled the 47 this time. We always pull something pretty bad like that.
Doesn't matter.
And yeah, we just hung out with people, went over the rules with the tournament director. He announces it, and that's that for captain's meeting. And then everybody takes off, and then the next morning, we hit it hard at 5:30 a.m. We're at the boat ramp.
Yeah, they wanted to launch us about 6:15, so we got down to the ramp about 5:45, I think, about half hour before launch time. Got the boat in the water. I think my confidence level was pretty good going into the day. The winds were pretty light.
Yeah. Oh, really light?
Yeah, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous out there. Like, when you can cross Winya Bay and it's like glassy, like, that's a good day. So we take out of there 47th, of course. I think we're in the second flight, so they do 2 or 3 flights of boats for the number that we had. So we're going to our first spot, and we're rolling as fast as we can, which is not that fast in our boat, but we're going. All of a sudden, I start to hear some weird noises in the motor, and Jordan looks back and notices it's smoking, and then the alarm goes off. And then as I'm pulling off plane, you hear clack, 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 thump, thump, thump. and
it basically
overheated, like a piston broke free and something blew up on the inside of the motor because it wasn't starting again. It started knocking, and then it eventually seized up. So our tournament ended before it even started.
Yeah.
So talk about how we got back from breaking down about 6:45 in the morning. Talk about how we got back.
So we were dead in the water, 6:45 a.m. We got boats that have already fished one spot, probably going to their second spot, passing
us all morning.
We are in the waterway, so we were just like, all right, well, we'll put the trolling motor down and just fish the waterway. So we've been just trolling motor down in the waterway for a few hours to no avail. Cito gets to us. He gets us almost all the way back to Sandpit boat ramp, and then he gets an emergency call that's been coming in about a sport fish that's wrapped their anchor around their prop. He actually lets us loose in the middle of Winya Bay, tells us he'll be back.
He just cuts us loose.
And we're just adrift in Winya Bay. He runs to the mouth of the bay to get the sport fish. Starts bringing them back at a much slower pace.
Because he was pulling us on plane. Yeah. I mean, we were going probably almost 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, we were going to be home at a reasonable hour.
I was thinking like we're going to go get a nice lunch on the way home.
Yeah.
Boat's broken, like let's go eat a sandwich.
So then as they're coming back through, he's got them in tow, going, maybe 5 miles an hour.
Maybe.
And then they throw us a line, so then we get towed behind the sport fish while the Cito boat tows them.
And the Cito boat is not more than like 26, 28 feet with twin 150 Yamahas.
Right.
And I was very impressed with the captain, the Cito captain.
But we had to go 3 to 5 miles per hour under tow all the way back up Winya Bay into the sand pit. And so it took, 3 hours?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It took like 3 hours.
The first leg of the trip took 20 minutes, and then the second leg of the trip took, I think, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, the guys on the sport fish were nice. They, since we were disqualified at the tournament at this point, we just accepted a beer.
Yeah, I said, y'all have any cold drinks?
So they started throwing beers.
They started throwing beers to us, and we're like, man, we're out of this tournament anyways. Might as well drink a beer.
And we're not driving the boat.
We're getting towed in. So Jordan and I are pretty bummed after all that transpired. More so, I mean, the motor braking is terrible, and that sucks. But more so, just because we didn't get to execute on the plan.
Yeah.
If the motor would have broken on the way back and we had a sack of fish, I think there would have been a lot more smiles going around. But we didn't even get to fish, so it's one of those things. So, on the way home from the tournament, Jordan's driving. Oh, Jordan's car AC wasn't working on the way home. Just insult to injury. The front end, just to let you guys know, we sweated on the way home. Jordan I think he was losing it a little bit because he was getting back sweat going on. And he was driving, and I'm over here like Googling trying to find a motor. We were a mess.
We Google searched and Facebook searched for the next 3 days, 4 days.
Just looking for a new motor.
And trying to find a 150 to 175 short shaft in the middle of summer is near impossible.
Yeah,
one guy called, said it was like I was looking for a unicorn.
Right, and then you have guys that have them for sale and want like $6K for a motor
that's 20 years old. Oh my god.
So it's like, what do you do? So, we're going back and forth like, what do we do? What do we do? And Jordan found a 150 SHO, Yamaha SHO down in Florida. And we started talking to the guy, and he was cool dudes, and we called, verified.
Really good service records.
Yeah,
it
verified
was still under warranty, which really appealed to us at this point. Yeah, realizing that
we're gonna break stuff. We might as well have warranty.
So we definitely went above what our budget was.
Right.
But I think everyone can agree we're gonna have a great motor for the boat next week. It's one of the most dependable brands out there.
Yeah, a lot of service available right here and through where we tournament fish.
And when we go to resell Luke's tournament boat, the Hughes, if we decide to resell it next year and upgrade to a different boat, this will help the resale value.
Yeah, for sure.
We think it was a good investment, and we're looking forward to getting geared up for the next one, August 10th, right?
Yeah, August 10th, we're going to fish the Swansboro Hook and Bones. One thing about this tournament that'll be a little different is that we're not going to be putting any oil on the boat.
Yeah.
Because it's a 4-stroke motor.
Yeah, we're going to save money on oil.
So, but yeah, that's out of Swansboro. It's called the Hook and Bones. So that's going to be a 2-fish tournament, 18 to 27-inch slot limit. We love that Swansboro area.
Oh yeah.
So that's an awesome area to fish. Different style fishing really than what we have back here. There's a lot of big eelgrass flats there. So maybe not different style, but different terrain up there for fishing. So it's really, really pretty. Hope we can get up there, do a little pre-fishing once we get this motor on, hopefully in the next week. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, looking forward to the next one, and thanks for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it.
Have a good week.